Hello there. So this is going to be a fully immersive 360 look at the 22 F150, specifically the XLT. Now, if you've never used 360 before, if you're on your desktop, go full screen, highest quality. You can use your mouse to drag and click and zoom around. If you're on your cell phone, same idea. You can take your finger and you can swipe across in order to look around as we go. If you're using the YouTube app on your phone, you can rotate your phone left, right, up, and down. It's a little dizzying, but you can use that in order to see exactly what's going on. So let's dive in and unpack the basics of this truck. So a few things. This is the 302A package of the F150, which is the best-selling trim level of the vehicle. It also has the XLT Sport Appearance package, which is why we've got the setup we've got here, because we do have the option for a bench seat in the middle, but this one has the console instead, which means that our shifter goes from the steering wheel down to our hand, but we'll get to that in a second. The steering wheel itself is great, like good feel overall. We've got some beautiful highlights. We've got this like weave texture along the dash, which shoots across the passenger side. And the steering wheel itself is nice. We would have the option for a heated steering wheel in some trims of the vehicle, but overall is great. We do at least have our base cruise control with an option for adaptive cruise if we want it. And we can easily change songs, radio stations on the right side. We can increase, decrease the volume on the left. There's a base voice command prompt for the media screen, and the screen it's crazy. Like, there's a small update from the 21 to the 22 where the temperature is now shown inside of the screen itself, but outside of that, it's remained unchanged from the 2021 model. So a lot of different features and flexibility. We've got our different audio sources, so things like AM, FM, Sirius XM. We've got Bluetooth connections. We can do all sorts of other things, so a USB stick with MP3s, things like that. We can literally go through a ton of different options for our sources. We can easily connect different phones, so Android and iPhone devices. If you want to connect Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you can do that wirelessly inside of this F150, well, inside of all the F150s for the 2022, which is amazing. We've got factory navigation inside of this thing, and the screen itself is super responsive. We can do an easy pinch to zoom, throw across as necessary. We've got a button that we can create our own unique thing to a degree, so we can have it set up for phone list, zone lighting, and a number of other options. A series of different driver assistant settings and vehicle settings and things like that. But if you want to walk around specifically on how this media screen works, or even the steering wheel and cluster, check down below because I've put together some crazy comprehensive walkthroughs on how all of this stuff works. But we do have a nice tray there. Moving down, we do have our Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which is nice because the 302 has the full trailer tow package. So we could add that on if we have any of the other trims of the vehicle. But one of the nice things is that Pro Trailer Backup Assist, rather than counter steering the steering wheel, if we've got a trailer, we just twist this the way that we want it to go, and it's going to automatically do the turning for us. So it's an amazing system there. We've got our integrated brake controller, and then because this is the 4x4, we do have a few notches. So our 2 high, 4 low. Inside of the Lariat and above, well, actually I should say the Tremor and above, Tremor 402, we would also have our 4 auto mode, and that's going to do automatically going to switch us between modes as necessary. And we've got a series of different drive modes that are available. So my favorite is going to be the sport mode across the far side, but we've got eco modes, trail modes. If you have the FX4 package in your truck, you would also have the rock crawl mode, which is definitely useful if you're taking this thing off-road. So a ton of different options and flexibilities just based off of what your driving conditions are. Down the center stack, we do have a volume rocker, tuning rocker. Like, we can tune a few ways. Like, we could use the tuning rocker, which is a little old school, because we could also just press the voice command prompt on the steering wheel to change that way instead. So we've got a ton of options. Quick little audio test. Let's actually change stations. Let me show you something. 97.7. Change to the station and great song, amazing sound, and this is just the base sound system inside of this thing. The base one. So you do have the option of upgrading to a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which sounds absolutely incredible. Like, it's literally like a step above, like a huge step above in comparison. But the regular audio still is fairly nice. We've got some base climate control settings. Inside of the 302 version of the truck, we do have heated front row seats. Inside of some of the higher trims, we would have ventilated seats. And then, like, even the seats themselves, we've got a nice kind of sport bucket cloth because we're in the XLT Sport Pack. So we've got a few different color interiors. We've got cloth versus leather seats, depending on the trim and different package options we've got. We've got the option for heated seats. We've got the option for ventilated seats in some of the higher trims. So those higher Tremor packages, the Lariats, King Ranch, whatever the case may be. So good options there. 2 USB power points. So we've got a USB, USB-C. There technically is a little bit of storage here, but you should probably save that because we've got a power folding shifter. And this one also has this bad boy. So interior work surface area, which I think is absolutely amazing. So if you're the type of person where you're using your vehicle for work purposes, you need to draw, or you need to write, or you need to type, or whatever the case may be, this work surface area is amazing. Click that. We do have a little storage area along the side, as well as a few cup holders. And then park, reverse, neutral, drive into our manual mode. So one of the great things about manual mode, just to the left-hand side of the shifter, we've got a few buttons, so a plus and minus, in order to change out whatever gear we're in. So we've got a 10-speed automatic transmission inside of the vehicle. And then from there, so I already showed you the work surface area, which is amazing, but we do also have this area, so tons of space when we get the console. Like, this is so ridiculous. We've got 2 more USB ports down there, so another USB, USB-C, and a fully removable tray. So it is kind of nice. And back down, as we start to move up, we've got a few things. So just to the right-hand side of the climate settings, we do have 2 more things. We've got a 400-watt inverter, as well as a 12-volt power point. We've got a little button that's going to show us a little hidden area there. So it's just above the dash, or just above the dash, just above the glove box. So just below the dash, I should say. Click that back down. Up overhead, we do have a little plastic tray that's fully removable. So if we need to clean this thing off, we can easily do it. Auto dimming rear view mirror. And this specific one also does have the sunroof. Up it goes. So the sunroof is amazing, full panoramic roof, which is amazing. So we can easily vent this thing out if we want to, or we can fully open it up. Well, I shouldn't say fully, because like it opens up to about here. You'll see that in a second, but it does open things up nicely. So single button press opens it up the majority of the way. Secondary button press opens it up that last little bit, and we can close it off easily. We do have a power sliding rear window, so we've got a control up overhead. We do have to actually hold that, so it's not going to be power like a single button press to open and close it, whatever the case may be. We do actually have to hold it. Standard inside of some trims, optional in some of the others, but it is amazing. We've got our sunglasses holder overhead. We do also have our visor, vanity mirror, no lights, little business card holder there, and we can extend this thing out to block all the sun that might be hitting our face as we go. But overall, like, this thing is nice. Like, there's a ton of different features and so much flexibility that's available inside of this truck. Like I said, if you're looking for a fuller walk around on the media screen or the steering wheel cluster, if you want to know how all this stuff works, check down below for those walkthroughs instead. But there's a quick look at the first row. Now, looking at the second row of the truck, you might get it, you might not, depending on how you have the truck configured, because the XLT is available in the regular cab, the Super Cab, or the SuperCrew. SuperCrew gives us the full 4 doors, which gives us a ton of space in that second row. The Super Cab cuts things a little bit short, which means that we lose a little bit of leg space for the back. And then the regular cab means that we don't have a back row whatsoever. So how you have this thing configured is going to be based off of you. The XLT 302, the SuperCrew configuration, is the most popular configuration for the truck. So, I mean, here nor there, like, go with what you want at the end of the day. Like, the Tremor is really, really nice, especially if you're doing a little bit more off-roading. And when you get into that 402 Tremor, it is absolutely amazing. Now, a few things to consider. As I mentioned, this specific one has the console in the middle, and because we've got the XLT Sport Pack. Now, we have the option for the bench. If we didn't have the bench, the shifter moves from your hand up to the steering wheel. We'd also lose the power points in the back row. So if you really want those extra power points, you have to go for the option with this configuration instead. But whether you go for the bench or you go for this is going to depend on you. You don't have to get the Sport Pack. So on the truck, the Sport Pack gives us essentially no chrome on the outside. So if you're a fan of chrome, don't go for the Sport Pack, but you could still technically add the console in if you wanted to. You're probably going to have to factory order a truck, so that means you're a couple months out before you get it, but it is nice to know that we've got that option. But overall, I am impressed, like I said, with the truck. Inside of some of the higher trims, we've got the option for Ford's Blue Cruise feature, which is Ford's hands-free driving. We've got the option for adaptive cruise control, 360 cameras, FX4 package with skid plates, and a number of other things. But this is something that's a little bit different, but if you enjoyed it, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. If you have any questions about the truck or about configuration options and choices, whatever the case may be, reach out and let me know. I'm super responsive, more than willing to help you out with anything that you might have questions about. But if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up and share it with your social networks. And until I see you next time, take care.